morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. One day closer to Friday. Hey, Sarah. Good morning. How is everybody today? Are we excited for Thursday? Amanda's in the house. Good morning. Queen 530. Happy Thursday. Thank you for the gift this morning. So today I'm working on a ripple blanket. And this is called a peephole ripple. This is a very commonly used pattern as far as a chevron. It has kind of smaller chevrons. You can see it kind of goes up and down, but it's definitely smaller. I think they call it peephole because you can see it's got little peepholes in it. But I'm fine. This is my first time ever doing this pattern. Honestly, it's working up pretty fast and pretty easy. I wouldn't say that I'm an expert at it. When I was working on this white, I had to frog it back a little bit this morning. But, we're getting there. With practice, all things shall come. So the yarn that I'm using today, of course, is Big Twist Value. And this is the colorway Orchid. So that is the lavender color that I'm using here. And I'm doing a total of 5 rows of that color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm doing 2 rows of the white, which you can see here. And this is Red Heart Super Saver in the colorway white. And then I'm doing this really lovely variegated yarn you can see here. It has blue and pink, and it's got some like teal green. Look at that teal. Isn't that pretty? So this yarn is from Hobby Lobby. And it's I Love This Yarn print. Look at those colors though. Isn't that fabulous? Really, really pretty. And the colorway is called Dreamery. Dreamery. It calls for this calls for an I9 hook. This one calls for an H8 hook. My white yarn calls for an I9 hook. And so I am using an I9 for this pattern. Hey Sue, good morning. Shauna's here. Good morning. Naz asked, is this pattern not the same you were doing last week, the blue one? No, it's different. It's a different one. This is called a peephole ripple. This is my first time ever making it. Diesel's already wanting to come up for a visit this morning, you guys. He was doing so good laying over there with his brother. You got the hiccups, buddy? Well, why don't you go to lay down with your brother and work those hiccups out while mom is doing her crocheting? So, anyhow, the Big Twist yarn, the colorway is Orchid. Now, of course, you guys know Big Twist comes from Joanne, okay? And so, whether or not you can get this, I know you can't get it online. Whether you can walk into a store today somewhere and buy it, I really don't know. But clearly this yarn has other colors in it as well. Like I said, it's got the blue. You could do blue with this. You could do green. You could just do all rolls, skeins of this. This comes from Hobby Lobby. And so, lots of possibilities. You don't have to use, of course, this Orchid that I'm using. But I had this in my stash. I really like this colorway. It's very pretty. I'm sure they're similar and closer to this. Hey, Carrie, good morning. Let's see. Can we use DK yarn for this design? So, guys, let me tell you, the pattern that I watched a video, okay? And the video that I watched is on the link tree. If you're watching me on YouTube this morning, it's in the description of the video. But I watched the video that Hooked by Robin did. If you guys know Hooked by Robin over on YouTube, that is who I watched and learned how to make this pattern from. Like I said, I'm definitely not an expert at it. But it is pretty easy as I'm working my way along. And you can see I've got kind of a bit of a section here. So right now I'm working with the variegated yarn. I think you could use DK yarn. I think you could use, like a 3-weight. I think you're saying a 3-weight, like for a baby blanket. It is kind of big holes though for a baby blanket. So I don't know if I would use it for a baby blanket pattern. I'm sure some people have. I just wouldn't want a little finger to get kind of stuck in these holes. So I don't know if this pattern is great for like a baby blanket, but I'm making wheelchair size. Here's how the pattern works. You chain in increments of 10 plus 2. So basically I chained 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 until I got it wide enough. I didn't do very good on my measuring. I chained 120 and my blanket is only 31 inches wide. Well, for my wheelchair size, I need like 35 inches. So I should have chained like 140, not 120. I don't know why I stopped at 120. I don't know if that morning I started it, I was just like half asleep or what. I really don't know. But you chain 10, 10, 10 until you get it the width that you want, right? So if you're going to make, for like a lap blanket, you might want it 50 inches wide. For me, wheelchair blanket, I want it 35 inches wide. And then when you're done with your 10, then you add two. When you get it to the size that you want, then you add two stitches. So I'm going to show you guys kind of how it works. Like I said, this is my first time. I don't know that I'm going to like explain it that great. The Hooked by Robin video, you guys, is amazing. Kathy said, did you finish the other blanket from yesterday? No, I didn't, Kathy. It's over here beside me. I worked on it some more last night. I didn't get a lunch break yesterday. Usually I like to work on them on my lunch break, but yesterday was busy with work, so um, I didn't get to do that. But can I ask why multiples of 10? I'm just trying to understand the math. I really don't know that I can articulate why. Um, Basically, when we first start out, that's where I ended. Let's go over here. This is where I started. Where's where I started? Okay, let's look at this. See if we can figure out the math. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See, that's why. So this must be the repeat right here. 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's the repeat. That's why. So basically, whoever came up with the peephole ripple, I mean, there are so many different versions of this online. If you just Google like peephole ripple or put it on YouTube, peephole ripple, so many of these will come up. But basically, I think it's 10 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, see right here, this group of stitches is 10. So I think that's why you're doing 10, 10, 10, and then when you get to the very end, you have to chain 2. That would be your turning chain. Does that make sense? I think I'm explaining it right. If anybody else knows more or better than I do, please help me out. But I think that's why it is. Okay, so hey, Elsie, good morning. Let's see. Sorry, I missed some of the comments here. Jennifer, good morning. Yeah, you can use whatever yarn you like on this, guys. Sandy, good morning. Kathy said you are correct. Okay, well, that's good. At least I know I can math on a Thursday, right? I don't know if I can math any other day. Let's see. It's 8 full stitches and 2 stitches for the ditches and peaks. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's the peak that she's talking about. That's what we're getting ready to do it. Thank you, Shailene. So many people here are much more knowledgeable about crochet than I am. So the way that I do this, we have 4 stitches. And you can see I've done here 1, 2, 3. Now, when I get to this peak right here, what I'm going to do is into this peak, I'm going to make a double crochet. That is my 4th stitch. Then I chain 2. That would be our new mountaintop here. And now into this space, I do another double crochet. That double crochet starts as we head back down the mountain. Now, these are, much smaller mountains and valleys, but it's kind of the same concept that we've been doing with these. So now I need 3 more double crochets. So into this next stitch, I do a double crochet. Here is number 2 and number 3. Now, these valleys are a little different than the ones that I've done on some of my other blankets. Instead of doing a decrease here, we're going to just skip stitches and we're going to leave this space right here. So I'm going to skip this stitch here and I'm going to skip this stitch here. These two, I'm going to reach all the way over here and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and then this will be our new mountaintop. So in skip 1, 2, now into the third here, this is where I will place our first of this next up the mountain. So now here is number 2 and 3. And now we're back here to the space. So in the space, we need to put a double crochet right into the space. And now chain 2. And now into the space, we do another double crochet. So that's our new tippy top of our mountain there. So this was our first one. We need 3 more. So 1, 2, 3 double crochets as we work down into the valley. Yes, Mama Wheeler is not here this week. Her and Papa Wheeler are on another cruise. They'll be back. I think they get back Friday or Saturday. Um, it was just a short kind of cruise. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, hey, Carol. Good morning. Mama C is here, guys. Mama Carol is my friend. Um, but yeah, she was still feeling sick. She went to urgent care a couple days before they left for their trip, and they, I don't know, gave her some stuff or whatever. And so anyhow, I saw Rachel followed Shailene Flores here. Guys, if you're interested in following each other, feel free to do that. You know, the crochet community is a big community. You guys, this is a fabulous community here. If you want to follow each other and support each other, I highly encourage that. If you're interested in trying to grow your channel or you want crochet friends, just spam the chat with yarn balls. I'll do one from the moderator account so you can see what I mean. If you see yarn balls, feel free to, follow that person and then you guys follow back. Uh, Shailene says, we all love friends. Absolutely. And crochet friends are the best kind of friends. So you all support each other. Crystal says, yay, I got on Discord. I updated the link. I'm glad to know that it's working. I tried to make it so that it was a forever link, so we'll see. Cheryl said, this is the same stitch I'm currently using for a baby blanket. How awesome. Let's see. Jen927, I recently began crocheting. I was gifted my mama's hooks after she passed. I watched her crochet her whole life. Wow, what a blessing. That she's looking down on you crocheting, girl, just like my grandma is. That's who I learned from, my grandma and my mom. Of course, my grandma's not with us, and I'm sure my grandma is proud of me every day too. So it's a very special bond between granddaughters and grandpas too, right? Grandmas and grandpas. I don't know. There's something about grandparents, grandmas, mamas, whatever you call them, mimas. Everybody, omas. Everybody's got a different name for their grandparents, but they are all just incredibly a special gift to their grandchildren. So pretty exciting. Sorry, guys. Let me catch up on the comments here. I'm falling behind. Joyful Rosetta, good morning. Hey, Sparky, good morning. Okay. The stitch that I used, I'm going to talk about this Crystal Honeycut. Let me get into this a little bit. I'm just trying to catch up on the comments. Jeanette says she has her Graham's hooks as well. Cheryl says my great grandma taught me to crochet. Very, very cool. Let's see. Jennifer says, I go out with my Nana every Saturday. She's my best friend. How beautiful. My grandma was like my best friend too. We lived, when I was married before, and when we lived in Arizona, I was married to my previous husband for 16 years, but we lived next door to my grandma and grandpa. And seriously, like we did everything and went everywhere together. We went, if we went out to dinner, we went out with my grandparents. They were like our pal around friends. Grandpa would wait up there on the deck for my husband to get home so he could have a beer with him. And of course I'd hang out with grandma, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing. It was really a blessing to live next door to them for so many years. It's unique, I think, that you have that in your life. And it's something that I will certainly cherish forever. So, anyhow, Jackson said, I learned how to knit from my mother about 50 years ago and how to crochet on TikTok. There you go. Jennifer says, I also call her every day and we talk about our days. That is beautiful, beautiful. Isn't it nice to reminisce or talk about our grandparents? Shailene says, I'm thinking about getting up the gumption to go live again after taking a year off. You know, we had some not so positive comments yesterday on the live. And I know that just kind of comes with, the territory. People said I should talk less and crochet more. I'm just me. And, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Different personalities click with different people. I would say for the most part, I think my TikTok journey has been very, very rewarding. I wouldn't come on here and do it every day if, it wasn't for all of you that was uh, such a beautiful part of my life. And you guys are, you really are. And so, I kind of talk and then I'll talk about the stitches some more and then I do some more crocheting. Um, but in general, for me, it has been very, very, very beautiful. And I honestly, I encourage everybody to at least try it. It's not, like I said, it's not for everybody. But Shailene, I think you should give it a try. And the other thing is, I think, your community, right? It's about the people that are here every day, supporting and listening and, just showing their support. And maybe Shailene, if you try it again, maybe some of the people that, are watching me here this morning who are beautiful souls, they really, really are. They'll watch you, put your yarn ball. Everybody follow Shailene. We would watch you crochet. I have other friends that I like to watch crochet. I can't watch all the time because I do work full time. But yeah, it's about having fun and relaxing and just having that fun community. So, this, guys, this pattern I'm doing today is called a peephole ripple. I've never made this before. But the thing is, hasn't been too hard. So as I go up the mountain, you can see I'm going up and down, but they're smaller than I normally do, right? The one we did yesterday, this one is very big compared to what I'm doing today. See how this up and down is much bigger? This is a different concept, right? This is much smaller, but it still follows kind of the same methodology, right? So here is the mountaintop. This is the valley. You can see it kind of goes down like that. So when you go up for this, I'm doing a total of 4 stitches. So here was our 4 of the row below. So I do 3, 1, 2, 3. Then in the very mountaintop here that we had of the row below, I do a double crochet into this space. So you're going into the space on this one. Then I chain 2. This is our new mountaintop, the chaining. And now into this space again, I place my next double crochet. So this is getting me set up to head down the mountain. This is the valley right here. So this kind of becomes our tippy top of our mountain, the chaining here. So now as we go down, we need 3 more. We need a total of 4 here. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 into each of these, and I'm doing a double crochet. So I end up with a total of 4 of them. Now, my other blankets that I've been doing, we've done a decrease here in the valley. This is a lot easier because what we're doing is we're actually skipping stitches. We're leaving these, see this little hole here? This is why it's called a peephole. And we're going to skip 1, 2, and then we're going to skip all the way over here to the third. And we're going to do a double crochet here. Okay, so now 1, 2, 3. I need 2 more. And there's number 3. Okay, now we need 4. We're going to place the 4th one right here into this space. And there is number 4. Now we're going to chain 2. This is the new mountaintop. And into this space. Are you guys tapping? Thank you guys so much for tapping. Andel says Mama needs coffee. I know I've had like half a cup of coffee this morning. So we do another one into this space. Okay. So this is the new mountaintop, this little chain here. Now we need a total of 3 more. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put 1 into each stitch. Thank you for the follow this morning. Appreciate that. We have a fabulous little community here. If you are new to my channel, my name is April and I'm a hobby crocheter. But this morning we're working on a wheelchair blanket. This will be for donation. And Jen X said, I thought April said people, not peephole. Yes, peephole, like chicken peeps. That is what we're making. And it's because of these little holes you can see in the blanket. So peephole. And I learned how to make this from Hooked by Robin. Hooked by Robin over on YouTube. I put a link on the link tree. I really enjoy Robin's tutorials. I know a lot of you guys do as well. And over on YouTube, I did link to her video as well. But this is called a chevron. It's a peephole. She is fabulous. Hooked by Robin. I can't say enough good things. I've learned a lot from her. And this is one of them. So this is my first time making it, but I thought, well, come on and show all you guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here we are to the valley. And the valley, we're going to skip 2 stitches. We're going to skip 1, 2, and then I'm going to place a double crochet here into the third. So this is our valley. So instead of doing a decrease, right, how they squish together, by skipping 2, do you see how these are leaning in? It accomplishes the same effect of this little triangle, but it is a different way of doing it. So it's kind of a cool thing. Queen 530, have a great day. I was looking and thinking those holes don't look like people, right? Mama needs to enunciate better this morning, Gen X. Is that what you're saying? RC Farm Girl, good morning. Hope you're having a great day. Yeah, y'all are cracking me up. So normally, as you're finishing this row, you should have a total of 4. Uh, I will confess, when I started this, I somehow got it screwed up and I have extra on each side. It's still going to work fine, but if we look at the row below here, you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our very last stitch has 2. Uh, if you do the 10 plus 2, um, you would definitely have 4 here. So bear with me here. Like I said, for my pattern, it'll still be just fine. But normally, if you were ending this following how Hooked by Robin did it, in the 4th stitch here, that would be your last stitch, but then you have to add your second one. Remember, you've got to put one to line up straight. Now, for me, somehow I ended up with 5. I don't know how. I'm not going to undo it. I'm just going with it. So there is my 5th stitch. But there again, you see how we look at this row here? Do you see how there's 2 in the last stitch here? We have to do that again because as we've mentioned in the last week or so, you want this to be straight. This stitch will naturally lean that way. So you need to put another one in here on the side. And that will straighten it up. So make sure you always put your second stitch in there. Anvil says I'm a rebel. I know. It looks totally fine. It just is a little bigger. I've seen other people that have more on their sides too. They do match though. My other side, if we look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6. Somehow I just ended up with extra stitches. So, I just winged it. Okay, so now I need to switch colors. I'm only doing 1 row of this accent row. And having a hard time seeing the comments on YouTube this morning. I think I put on my wrong glasses this morning. I'm sorry, YouTubers. I know you all are over there chatting, and I'm having a hard time seeing. I don't know what I need to do. Maybe, I don't know if I can zoom in better on the YouTube. Hopefully everything's going smooth over there. But anyhow, I'm going to change colors now. So the way I'm doing this, I'm doing 5 rows of this orchid color. 2 rows of the white, and then 1 row of the variegated. So the way that I change my colors is instead of finishing this double crochet, when I get to the very last part of it here, I pull my next color through those loops. And that is how I add on. I leave this tail, I'll come back and weave this in. Same thing with my colored tail. Now, I don't trim this off yet. I wait until I get the whole row of white done. What I have kind of learned by trial and error is when I go back, if I messed up something on this row, if I need to rework it and I've cut off my tail already, it makes it harder for me to rework that. So I just leave it chilling there. Okay, we just let them hang out. Now I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to turn my entire blanket. And now we're going to work back in the other direction. SDK says, Legend says you're supposed to make mistakes so your soul isn't trapped in your work. Wow, that is really a beautiful saying. I like that. I really like that. Okay, so now, just like when we did this one, we had to put an extra stitch. Same thing here. This was our first stitch. This chain of 2 counts as my double crochet. Now, this one here is my second into that same stitch. Now I head down the mountain, and I'm going to put a total of 6 as I move down to the valley. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, this is the valley, and in the past we've done a decrease here. What we're going to do for this valley, if I kind of turn, we're going to skip 1 and 2. We're going to skip these 2 stitches, and I'm going to do my double crochet way over here. This does the same effect of a decrease because we're skipping these. Do you see how that's kind of forming our little triangle? That is our valley. Oh, thank you, Gen X. I appreciate that. Gen X says I'm over on YouTube. I hope everybody on YouTube is doing well this morning, and all our TikTok friends. So now we need number 2 and 3. We need a total of 4 as we head up the mountain. So we're going to have these 2 skipped. This is our valley. Here's our 3. Now here we are to the mountaintop of the row below. And I'm going to put number 4 stitch right into this space. So I'm not going to try to go in this chain or anything. Go right into the space and put your stitch number 4. So there's 4. Now we chain 2, and right into this space, we're going to start down the mountain. So this chain of 2 is our tippy top of our mountain. And now as we head down, we've done our first one. We need 1, 2, 3 more. And again, these are double crochets. Here's 2 and 3 and 4. So there's our 4 double crochets. Now here we are to the valley again. You can see the peephole of the row below. So that tells us we're in the right space. I'm going to skip 1 and 2, and then I'm going to go way over here to the 3rd, and I'm going to place my double crochet. So there's our first one. Now we need a total of 4 of these. Yarn over, April. There's number 2 and number 3. Now again, remember number 4 is going to go right in this space. Okay, number 4. Patty Bear says, thanks, I wanted to learn this. This is my first time, Patty Bear. I'm learning this for the first time. Chain 2. Now into this space, I'm going to start heading down the mountain. So our first stitch goes right into that space. Okay, so here's our 4. Here's our mountaintop. Here we're going to start sliding down the mountain. Here's 1. We need 2, 3, 4. So 3 more double crochets. There's 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, now here we are back down the valley. You can see the little peephole here. That was our valley. You can kind of turn your work so you can see your stitches. Here's 1 and 2. I'm going to skip both these, and then I'm going to go way over here to the 3rd one. When we do this, this acts as our decrease because we, again, skipped stitches. You can kind of see how they squish up. And now we're going to head up the mountain. We need a total of 4. Here's number 2. number 3. Now I'm out of stitches here, so my 4th one, goes right into this chain space. Okay, there's number 4. Now I'm going to chain 2. We've got to make our new mountaintop. There it is. And I'm going to head down the mountain here. Okay, so the first one we're going to put right into that chain space. And you can see now we're ready to start heading back down. We need 3 more, total of 4. 1, 2, 3, 1 into each stitch. Nana said, it's really pretty. Thanks for being so clear. I don't consider myself an expert crocheter or anything. I just try to explain it how it kind of works in my brain, how my brain thinks about it. And hey, Amy, good morning. PB Cookie says, I love the mountain analogy. Yeah, that's how my brain thinks about it. I think of it as little mountains. You're a great teacher. Thank you so much. Dale, good morning. I saw you popped on here earlier. I'm so thankful for your YouTube. I can stop and go back as much as I need. Yeah, so for those that don't know, I'm live this morning, both on TikTok and on YouTube. And after we're done with the live, this video takes about 24 hours to process. And then you'll be able to see the replay over there on my YouTube. My handle is Wheeler8Acres. It doesn't all fit in my lap, but I can try to hold it up here and see. Let me see if I pull it back a little bit. You can kind of see where I'm at with this. Isn't it pretty? Pretty, pretty colors. So if you are just hopping on, I can kind of give a rundown. This pattern is called the Peephole Chevron. And that's peep like P-E-E-P, like a little chicken peeps, right? And it's called a peephole. It kind of looks lacy because of these little holes that we're putting in it. This is from the mountains and the valleys. So that's what we're kind of talking about this morning. Now, this lavender color that I'm using is from Big Twist. Obviously, you can no longer order Big Twist on line, but you might be able to still get this in the store. I really don't know. Maybe you could find a different color to substitute. But this particular color I'm using today is called Orchid, and it is Big Twist. And the little accent row I'm using here, you can see it has like pink, and here's some teal. It also has like blue in it. Here's the blue over here. Isn't that pretty? Really bright, fun colors. This is a wheelchair blanket today that I'm making. Lana says, that's very pretty. Thank you so much. Nana Crochet. Very cute handle. I think I said that right. Is it Nana or Lana? Or Lana? I'm not sure. The yarn is, I love this yarn. It's the print, okay? But this is what it looks like. This one I get from Hobby Lobby. And I'm using this yarn right here calls for an I9. The Orchid calls for an H8. The white that I'm using calls for an I9. So I'm using an I9 this morning. I always go with the larger size. But this colorway, if you're interested, is called Dreamery. Isn't that pretty? Really, really pretty. So I'm just doing one row of accent. Part of the reason why I do one row of accent, I like how it kind of makes it stand out, be a little fancy, kind of show it off. The other reason, if I'm being perfectly honest, guys, I'm downright cheap. This yarn's more expensive. So, I mix it up with the more solid colors. Um, Anna with an L. So Lana. All right, perfect. I'm glad I said it right. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here this morning. So that's why I do the accent row, because I'm cheap. All right. So I get the solid colors. This white I'm using is Red Heart Super Saver white. You guys know I always have it kind of, in my stash, and I just kind of use that. So I'm doing 5 rows of the color, 2 rows of the white, 1 row of the variegated, and then back to 2 rows of the color. And then I'm repeating that. Now, how I started this is I chained 10. And then I said, is this big enough? Yes or no? If it's not big enough, you make another 10, 10, 10, 10, till you get it as wide as you want. You chain 10. Then when you say, okay, it's big enough, you add 2. And the reason why you do 10, if we look at this stitch here, this is where I started. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. Your little chain space here is 2. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's how they came up with 10. Okay. So very easy to remember. 10, 10, 10, 10 till you get it as big as you wanted. Now, guys, I chained 120 with an I-9 hook. My blanket is 31 inches wide. You know, for my wheelchair blanket, I prefer them to be 35 inches wide. And so I'm going to have to come back and add a border to this. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world, but I should have chained like 140. Why I chained 120? Dude, I don't know. I probably wasn't paying attention. Maybe I didn't have enough coffee when I started it. Maybe a squirrel ran by and I got distracted. Who the heck knows? But, it's no big deal. I'll just go back and add a little border to it and it'll be fine. So, for my wheelchair size, I like to do a 35 by 45. Okay. So, you do the chain of tens, then you have your chain of two. That is your turning chain. So, if we look right here, this is where my 10 ended. And then I added the two. And then I came back and started doing my double crochets. Okay. So that kind of brings us to where we are right now. So this here is the mountaintop. Whenever we do a mountain, you're going to have a chain of two. As we head up and down the mountain, you can see up the mountain we had four, down the mountain we had four. This is a very easy pattern because we don't have to do any of the two together like double crochet. So some of the last patterns that I've been doing, right? The pattern that we worked on yesterday, you guys remember this one? In order to get these peaks and valleys right here, right, we had to do two together double crochets, which I have explained this a lot, and I know people are getting more comfortable with that. Uh, but sometimes a new crocheter, this might be a little much for them. And the other thing we're doing is we're doing increases here for the mountaintop. So you can see two and two. This one uses a different strategy in crochet to create the same effect. Okay, so in the valley here, you can see this is our dip down. Here's our mountaintop up here. What we're going to do is we're going to skip 1, 2 stitches, and then we're going to go over here into the third and do our double crochet. That essentially is a decrease because we have skipped 2 stitches, and this forces this to squish up and kind of become our valley. Now we're going to head up the mountain. We need a total of 4 stitches. So I have 1. Here is number 2. Number 3. Now I'm out of room, right? You can see my stitches are filled here. That's okay. We're right on track. Number 4, you're going to work right here into this space. Okay, now we need a new mountaintop. We're going to chain 2, and back into this space, we've got to start heading down the mountain. So we need to place a double crochet again right into the space. That is our first stitch as we head back down. Here is our valley. We need a total of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to add 3 more right here, 1 into each stitch. There's number 2. And number 3, and number 4. Okay, so now again, here we are to the valley. You can see the little peephole of the row below. We're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, skip over those, reach all the way over here to number 3, and start your double crochets as we head back up the mountain. There's our first one, 2, 3. We need a total of 4. Again, you can see I've run out of room here. But that's okay. Here we are to the tippy top of the mountain. We're right on track. You put your number 4 right into the chain space. Chain 2, make our new mountaintop. Now we're ready to head back down the mountain right into this space. Again, we need our first stitch. So there is number 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 more as we head down into the valley. Yes, Jody, I will post this on YouTube. On the link tree, Jody, I learned how to make this from Hooked by Robin over on YouTube. And I put a link to her video on my link tree. But also, I could do this again later on from a very starting point. This one I kind of already had started, but this is called a Peephole Chevron is what we're making today. Hey, Maggie, good morning. Thank you for the heart me this morning, supporting the team. Appreciate that. Y'all, if you're not following Maggie on TikTok, now's your chance to give her a follow. She is a fabulous crocheter. I love, love, love watching her. You guys will too. So we're just going up and down on this. But my handle on YouTube is Wheeler 8 Acres. So same as my TikTok, Wheeler 8 Acres. All my social media is the same. I'm a hobby crocheter, but I am live this morning both on TikTok and on YouTube. So what happens is this video will take about 24 hours to process, and then I will release it over onto YouTube, and you can rewatch it. Now, over on YouTube, when you look at somebody's profile, you'll see a tab that says videos, one that says shorts, and then one that says live. Uh, if you're not seeing my videos, click over to the live tab. If I did it on the live, um, it will be showing over there when it's ready for replay. Okay, so if you're not seeing anything, I do have some videos posted, but for the most part, I'm a kind of a live type personality. So that's how you can see the replays. Okay. But this, like I said, is a peephole chevron. There are lots of people that do peephole chevrons. This is a very common pattern. It's been around for ages. I don't know who came up with it. If you put in peephole, and I'm not saying people, I'm saying peep, like a little chicken peeps, peep, 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 peephole, because you can see this little lacy effect. These are little peepholes. Okay. If you have another, if you like Crystal at Bag a Day, she probably has a video of this. If you like Creative Grandma, she probably has a Bella Coca, she probably has a video of this. Everybody and their brother has a video of how to make this peephole. But for me, it's my first time doing it. So I thought, well, I'll come on and share with my friends. How would it look if you used only the accent color for the entire blanket? You would see how these kind of alternated. So see how the blue is here and then the blue kind of moves? You would have lots of these stacked up. It would look pretty. It would just have lots of the variegated instead of how I've kind of broken it up. So I'm sure it would look totally cool. I just, like I said before, uh, the print yarn, this yarn that I'm using I love this yarn. Okay. I get this from Hobby Lobby. It's the print. Of course, I never pay $4.99 for this. I always use my 30% off. But it's still more expensive. So, for example, when I got the big twist, I don't know what these retail for, but I think I paid like $2.50 for this skein of yarn. It's a lot cheaper. So that's why I do kind of the mixing up of it. And I like just kind of changing up the colors as I go along. So anyhow, that's kind of the way I do it. But girl, you could pick any color that you want. You could do anything that you want. This is, your masterpiece. That's what makes, crochet so unique and special to each individual person. Is we see colors different, we see patterns different, we see textures different. Maggie says, don't pay full price for yarn ever. They're always on sale. Yeah, at Hobby Lobby. For those that don't know, if you've never been to a Hobby Lobby, that's where I get this from. Every other week is 30% off. Right now is not 30% off. Girl, I put some in my cart. It's just waiting for when it goes on sale the next time. So, I'm not going to buy it today and pay $4.99. No, I'm not like that. I'm going to, wait until next week. So anyhow, that's how I work it. But I start thinking about what colors I might want to get and add and whatever. And so that's kind of how I do mine. But definitely every other week, Hobby Lobby, don't buy it at the full price if you can help it. I mean, I know if you're stuck on a project, there have been times where I've bought it because it was an off week. I was in the middle of a project. I needed another skein. I just kind of had to do it, right? But if I'm, just stocking up or whatever, I just wait. I wait till the sale. You all know, you've been there. You've been there before where you just had to have it. So anyhow, the way that I'm doing this little pattern goes up and down. So if we kind of look at it here, you can see how this goes up. This is the mountaintop. Here's the valley. Here's the mountaintop. So it's the same concept of, how I'm doing the other chevrons that I've been working on, but the peaks and valleys of this, they're just smaller. They're not as pronounced, and this does work up rather quickly. Um, hey, Mrs. Melody, good morning. Patty, I do buy my yarn online. I buy it from Hobby Lobby online. Of course, I was a huge Joann's buyer, which of course not anymore. I get yarn down at Ollie. When they bring stuff in, they had Red Heart Super Saver the other day, and well, it's probably been a month or so now, but I don't know. I think I got like 10 rolls down there at Ollie. And so, I just grab yarn here and there. But I've bought yarn from Yarn Inspirations before. I've bought yarn off Amazon. I buy yarn from Mary Maxim, Hirschner's. Those are some of my favorite stores. I buy from Premier. I really like the Premier. I did get some Premier. I got some ombre yarn from them the other day, and I'm going to be making that. I've never used it before, but with Joann's um, closing, um, I'm kind of trying out some other economical acrylics, right? Now, I know a lot of people don't like Red Heart, but I do like Red Heart. It's a very economy yarn. However, it has been around for eons. If you can get past how the texture is, it washes up super nice. It becomes nice and soft. Yeah, Lollipop says Dollar General and yarn. Lollipop, I'm glad you're here this morning. I saw your little note earlier. Sorry I didn't get a chance to comment on that. The other place I buy yarn is Wally World. I got some mainstays the other day for some of my accent rows, and so I'm going to give that a try. I have not tried the mainstays yarn yet. We'll see. But I'm right now kind of exploring different possibilities because I do use a lot of the big twist. I've kind of become a fan of the big twist. Again, I don't know how well it washes and how long it lasts, like compared to like Red Heart. Um, these blankets that I'm making are wheelchair blankets as part of my little goal for myself this year. I'm trying to do at least one wheelchair blanket a month. And as long as it washes up and is nice and soft, I am totally fine with it. I don't expect these to hold up for a lifetime going to a care facility, right? These are going to assisted livings, independent livings, that type of facility. And so they're going to get washed. They're probably going to be put in, some dryers, some hot heat, some sanitizers. These are not going to last forever. If it can brighten one patient's day or one patient's week, that is what I care about. And for me, it's a creative outlet, right? For me, crochet is therapeutic. Hey, Lady Crochet, good morning. Shailene says we still have aisles of yarn. Is that at Joanne's? Shailene, do you work at Shailene? Do you work at Joanne's? I kind of missed that. Hey, Dana Kay, good morning. Dana Crea is a great one to follow on TikTok as well, guys. Jen said, I discovered that my grandma always ordered patterns from Annie's Attic. Also, Red Heart was her favorite. Yeah, I like I said, I really like Red Heart. I like the colors that they have. I really like it a lot. So, guys, here as we're coming up on our end here now, okay? When you reach your end, make sure, just like all the other ones I've been doing, um, you have to put another stitch right here. See how this one's leaning over? Put a number 2 stitch right into your last stitch. You guys hear me practically preaching about this every day, I'll tell you. Once you put in that number, in this case, it's my number 6 stitch. If you did 4, it would be your number 5 stitch, right? If you only did 4, you would have a number 5 here. But that is what's going to bring your blanket up nice and straight. So make sure that you are doing that stitch, okay? Patricia said, can you help? How can I keep my work straight? So on your edges right here, let me explain the edges of this blanket. Okay, see how this is nice and straight through here? It's kind of messed up right here because I haven't woven in my tails, right? The way you do this is whenever you end, you have to put another stitch right here. So you can see there's two right there. If you only do one, it leans in. But you can see every single one of these, I've done 2 stitches. So there they are into that stitch there, the white. Same thing when you turn your work. I'm getting ready to turn my work right now. I'm going to have to put 2 when I turn it. Marlene says mainstays is like Red Heart. Yeah, I think I'm going to like it. I think it'll be all right. Let's see. At Joann's, no, I live in a really rural part of Ohio. Oh, I see. So you've gone to the Joann store and you still have yarn there. The closest Joann to me is over in Huntsville, and that's like an hour and 15 minutes away to the store. I'm not going to go over there. It's Shailene says this is why you have the +2 1 stitch for each side. Yep. So I ended up with more because I was doing kind of a different pattern, but basically the way this pattern works is you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So when I first started out right here, if we look at this, this is 10 stitches. You have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the way that I started this is I crocheted 10 chains, 10 chains. I kept adding 10, 10, 10 until I got it as wide as I needed it, you know? Um, so, yeah, I mean, it's not perfectly straight, Kisa. I hope I said your name right. It's going to have bumps through here, right? That's just part of when you make this blanket. Now, if this really bugs you, how the side is bumpy like this, you could go back and add, some kind of a border on this to straighten this out. Um, so you could definitely add a border. Some people are bothered by this, but a lot of times when you do these blankets, this is way more jagged. I think people that have experience with this, they will probably agree that my edges are very straight compared to some others that I've seen, and I try very hard to do that. But I do a chain of 2 here when I'm working. The other thing is sometimes people will say to do a chain of 3, and I will just show you my little trick on this as I'm turning my work here. So this is my last stitch. Here's number 2 that I placed in this. Now I need to chain like I said, sometimes people say chain 2 or chain 3. I like to chain 2. Some people will chain 3. I'm going to show you what it looks like for a chain of 3. This is sometimes what happens to make these edges not as straight. Okay, so here I did a chain of 3. I'm going to turn my whole work. Now we're going to start working back in the other direction. Now, as I mentioned before, this right here, this chain of 3 counts as our first double crochet. Into this first stitch here, we need double crochet number 2. Now, what I have found with my crochet stitches, when I do a chain of 3, do you see how this is kind of bowing out here? I find that a chain of 3 is too tall. And instead of doing a turning chain of 3, I like to do a turning chain of 2. Everybody crochets a little different, guys. And so this is why you have to kind of experiment with your crochet and figure out what works best for you. So if I remove that double crochet, I'm going to pull out one of these loops, okay? Put this back on my hook. So you can see we have a chain of 2 now, 1 and 2. Into this stitch here, I'm going to go back and add my double crochet. So this counts as a double crochet. This counts as a double crochet. Do you see how that made a difference? It made this stitch in tighter to this double crochet and not so bowed out. That is why I like a turning chain of 2. Some people don't like a turning chain at all. That's the other thing you could do. You could do a stacked single crochet here. Okay, so if I pull this out into this stitch here for my first one, I do a single crochet. Now I go back through this loop, grab up another loop, and then do that. That is a stacked single crochet. Some people will use that as their turning chain. Um, Other people will do a standing double crochet here. Um, I personally, I tried the standing double crochet yesterday, and I really wasn't liking it for my work, but you certainly could do that. There's a standing double crochet, and then you would put your second one here in the stitch. So again, guys, lots of possibilities of how to do this. You have to experiment and find out what works perfect for you. Hey, Gen X girl, good morning. I saw your note. Michael's does sell yarn. The closest Michael's to me is again over in Huntsville, and so I don't go over there. Okay, so again, I'm going to do my turning chain of 2. Now into this stitch, I'm going to place my double crochet. Gen X says I used a stacked single crochet for this edge. Yeah, lots of different options. Diesel is doing good, Lady Crochet. He is sleeping right now. He's actually in the chair over here next to me, to my right. He's in Dad's chair today. It's overcast here. The last couple days has been really bright and sunny. And you guys know the dogs have been running around, jumping. Diesel has been jumping all over me when I've been trying to crochet. But dude, this morning he's sleeping. So let's not get him awake, right? Everybody be very, very quiet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so here we are to the valley. The way we do our valleys for this, I'm going to skip 2 stitches. Skip these. I'm going to work a double crochet over here into the 3rd. Let's see. Patricia said, "Thank you for helping me when other people can't be bothered." Oh, I'm sorry. Everybody here tries to help, not just me. You guys know it's. I try to get to the comments, guys. I really do, but as I'm crocheting, I do miss some of the comments. We have fabulous mods, Gen X and Anvil. How about a round of applause for our moderators this week? They always do such a stellar job to keep me on track and help answer questions, but it's a group effort, as Gen X just said. You know, it takes a village. What can I say with crochet? There's times I can't get to every comment, and our OGs that are here every day, they help to answer questions too. You know, I can sit here and crochet, but if none of you come and show up every day and participate, what's the point? There's no point in me being on live, right? It's not about me. This experience is not about me. Oh gosh, do I have a hair in my stitch? Where is it? I can't see it. I told you guys, I think I grabbed the wrong glasses this morning. Well, I do the lint roller on it before it gets shipped out. It gets washed and lint rolled, so hopefully Shailene, I oh, Shailene says no, I did. Oh, usually it's me. I have really really long hair, so um Crystal Honeycutt says, "Does anyone have a Centro knitting machine? I need help with it." You could ask on our Discord, Crystal, if you want to get on the Discord. One person on TikTok that I highly recommend is the Knitting Sisters, Lori. Her name is Lori on TikTok. I think her handle right now is Lorie uh, the KS Knitting Sister. I think she does. She's a great person on TikTok. She does the set. She has all the knitting machines. There's another gal that I watch at night. I think her name is Jordan. Does anybody know Jordan? Doesn't she have a Centro that she does on the lives? Am I getting my artists mixed up? I know Lori does. The other one that I watch is oh gosh, the positive gal, I can't think of her name. Gloria. So Gloria does help me, guys. Gloria, you all know Gloria, right? She will help answer questions about the knitting machines. I have a Centro, but it's on the shelf and I have only used it like once. Thank you, Gen X. So Gloria. So those are the two that are the three that I know. I think Jordan KGY is her name too at night. Those three. Yes, Jordan also does knitting machine. Thank you guys. If you guys know other people that help with the knitting machine, shout them out. Let's share the information. Nobody be bogarting the information here today. Okay, so I'm going to talk about these stitches. Here is our mountaintop. For the mountaintop, we do a chain of 2. Now we're going to head down the mountain. We need 4 double crochets. So here we are to the valley. Oh, pause for a puzzle. Hang on. Let me do my puzzle. Okay, puzzle successful. Uh, in the valley here, you can see the row below, we had our little hole. This pattern is called the peephole. And I'm saying peep like um, peep, 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 little chicken peeping, right? That's what I'm saying. Okay, peephole, because there's these little holes. It gives it this really cool, kind of lacy effect. Doesn't it look kind of lacy? Really pretty. The way we do this is we skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, over here into the third, we're going to put a double crochet. So we do a big leap over here. This acts as a decrease. So when we skip these 2 stitches, this is what's forming that little valley, okay? It pulls these together. You're essentially squishing them up, but instead of doing a decrease the way we've been doing it the last few times, it's a little different. We're doing it by skipping some stitches. Now I'm going to head up the mountain. Here's number 2. Here is number 3. Now you can see here I've run out of stitches. I need a total of 4. That's okay. We're right on track. The number 4 stitch goes right into this space. So I do my double crochet right into that space. Now we have our 4. Now I'm going to chain 2. That's our new tippy top of the mountain. Now into this space here, again, we need a double crochet. We're going to head back down the mountain. That is our first stitch. We need a total of 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to add 3 more stitches. Again, these are double crochets, and I'm going under both loops. There's 3 and number 4. Okay, so here we are to the valley again. You can see here was our peephole of the row below. We're going to skip 2 stitches. 1, 2. Reach all the way over here to number 3, and we're going to do our double crochet. Now we've made our new little peephole. Peep, peep, peep. Okay, and 2 and 3. So here's number 2, 1 into each stitch, and number 3. Again, we've run out of room for number 4. That's okay. Remember, number 4 goes right into this space. So I go right under that chain and do my double crochet. And then chain 2, make our little mountaintop. And now we're going to head back down the mountain. So into this chain space here, again, we need our first stitch. There's number 1, 2, 3, 4. Add 3 more stitches here, 1 into each, and then we'll be back down at the valley. So you can see it's a very, very easy repeating. All we're doing is double crochets. Here we are to the valley. Here's our little peephole. We're going to skip 1, 2, reach all the way over here to number 3. Again, double crochet here. And here's number 2. We're headed up the mountain now. Number 3. Again, we've run out of room. Don't be alarmed. That's right on track. Number 4, remember, goes right into the mountaintop of the row below. There we have our 4. Chain 2, make our new mountain, and then right back into this space, we're going to start heading down the mountain. So there's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Ladybug, this is a different pattern than I was working on yesterday, if you saw me working on it. This is called a peephole chevron. And it has little holes in it, you can see. It makes it have like kind of a lacy effect here. It's really, really pretty. So the peephole, peep, 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 refers to these little spaces that we're doing here. Betty, I put a link for this pattern on the link tree. There are lots of people that have made this pattern. This is a very popular style of chevron. The person I learned it from is Hooked by Robin over on YouTube. And I put a link to her video that I watched. She probably has a written pattern on her site as well, I'm guessing. I think this pattern has been around for eons, years and years and years, and so many people have done it. So if you put um, into YouTube or Google, I would definitely say just put in Peephole Chevron, Peep, like a little chicken peeps, right? Peep, 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 hole, because we have a hole, Chevron. I tell you, there's going to be hundreds that come up, if not thousands. It's a free pattern, and so many people have done it. If you have a favorite person, if you like Bella Crochet, she's probably done one. I'm just guessing. I know Creative Grandma has done it. Everybody and their brother has done this pattern. It's the first time for me though. It's my first time. So I thought I would just come on and kind of explain how the stitches work and show you kind of what I'm doing. I'm making a wheelchair size. Yeah, it's uh, YouTube is having fun talking about the yarn ball emoji, and they're tossing them at each other. Yeah, we have a lot of crocheters over on YouTube that are watching. Guys, if you're on TikTok, there's another whole family over on YouTube. Stephanie's over there this morning. Lady Crochet. Debbie is here this morning. Lots of folks over on YouTube as well. And that's another whole little group. So I know some of you watch me on TikTok and on YouTube because you can put it on your TV. It's kind of, just a different experience, but I know some of y'all are at work watching me, like, and you don't have the TV, but it's a whole different experience over there. So yeah, spam the chat with yarn balls, follow each other over there on YouTube, support each other. We're a whole crochet family. Crocheters are just beautiful souls, I believe. And I really encourage each of you to support each other. This, as I've said before, um, this is not about me, guys. This is about what I get from you guys. It's so rewarding. I'm not here to, like, pump myself up. And I know there are people like that in the world. That is not who I am. I come on here to share the stitches. I'm not an expert crocheter. I have been crocheting for about 40 years. I learned from my grandma. But for me, it's about the fellowship and just kind of sharing. Crochet is like my therapy. I don't know if it's as expensive as a therapist, but as much yarn as I have, I'll tell you what, it is. It just helps me relax and get out of my head, and I enjoy crocheting in the mornings before work. It's kind of a woo-saw, relaxing. Um, uh, Dana K said there's some great groups on Facebook too, but be careful. Yeah, I Creative Grandma has a group on Facebook. You can follow that one. That one is not a public group. You have to answer some questions, and they have a moderator for that group. So I definitely recommend that. The Crochet Crowd has a group. That one, help me. What is the Crochet Crowd? It's called something else. Uh, uh, Stitch some, I can't remember what it's called. Um, Also, I really like the Hooked on Sunshine group on Facebook. That group for me is primo. Really, if you want to be inspired, even if you're just a new crocheter, and you're not able to do Hooked on Sunshine patterns, if you just want to be inspired and see beautiful creations, that group is amazing. It's really amazing. Um, there's a group on called Hooked on Crochet. That's awesome. I think that is one that I'm on. Crochet Crowd Makers Hangout. I don't know. I'm on Crochet Crowd, but I don't know if I'm on the Makers Hangout. Uh, Stephanie on YouTube says we are old souls trying to keep an ancient craft alive. Right? Crochet can't be done by machines. Most of us know that. It takes us passing it down, just like, my grandma passed it down to me. Now, of course, um, with technology today, there's different ways to learn, right? You can watch YouTube videos. You can be inspired by other crocheters. It's a whole crochet universe out there. And I just find it a beautiful thing. So I come on here because I try to maybe inspire somebody. Maybe you haven't crocheted for a number of years and you see me crocheting this morning, and it maybe flashes in your mind, I should get back into crocheting. I remember really enjoying that. And maybe you pick up your hook after you haven't crocheted for a number of years. Maybe you're passing by and you've never crocheted before, but you think, hey, I could probably do this. Look at this great group of friends here. Um, maybe you want to make some plushies. Maybe you want to make some animals. I do some of those too. I don't usually do them on the live, but I do some of those type of things as well. Um, it's just if I can, maybe you see the color of yarn today and it inspires you. You're like, I got to go get that yarn, right? Whatever it is, I have been inspired by some very specific people in crochet that are personalities, right? They're TikTokers, they're YouTubers, whatever it is. They have changed my crochet trajectory. For me, Mikey at the Crochet Crowd has inspired me. I do not read a pattern. I watched Mikey's videos. Guys, I don't know Mikey from a hill of beans. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know who April in Alabama is. Dude has no clue. He has a million followers. I don't expect him to. But he changed my crochet life. Absolutely. He gave me the confidence to try different things. I watched his videos. I learned different stitches. And he really, for a long, long time, I held myself back because I could not read a pattern. I did it to myself. I started watching Mikey's videos, I don't know, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And he gave me the confidence to go ahead and try. What's the worst that can happen? You you mess up, you frog it, you aren't successful, but at least I got the courage to try to do different stitches and whatnot. Um, Mikey is from the Crochet Crowd. He has a beautiful YouTube channel. He has beginner videos, so many different patterns. He is a Yarn Inspirations is a manufacturer of yarn, but Mikey is from the Crochet Crowd. Maybe it's other people for you guys, right? Maybe it's Crystal at Bag a Day. Maybe it's, Bella Coca. There are so many. I can't even begin to list them all. And so anyhow, I encourage you to find your person, right? Find who inspires you. And maybe it's not just one person, but maybe it's multiple people. Lady Crochet says she's been doing 44 years and it's her passion. Right. That's just beautiful. I love that. What am I doing? I'm doing this wrong. Um, so anyhow, that's why I come on and do this. I try to participate and be part of this community and give back. That's why I do it. I of course appreciate all the screen taps and the shares and the likes and all the gifts that come, but I don't expect it. That's not my purpose here. And so anyhow, I know there's some new folks that are new to my channel, and if you don't know, if you're a new follower this morning, my name is April. And like I said, I'm just a hobby crocheter, but I do come on live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings at 7:30 Central Time. And I just work on some of the projects that I've got going. I do a lot of donations for charity, as far as the blankets and all of that. Lady Crochet says, my inspiration was Crystal from Bag a Day. Crystal also has a million followers on YouTube. She has a huge community. There's a Bag a Day, I believe there's a Bag a Day Facebook group. I'm not certain, but I think there is. I think I joined it the other day, as a matter of fact. So, anyhow, lots of possibilities, but that's why I'm here. So, um, yeah, Mikey, if you just put in Mikey at the Crochet Crowd, he will definitely come up for you. He's a wonderful soul. But again, he's not everybody's cup of tea. You have to find your person. You have to find who inspires you. And so, anyhow, so the pattern that I'm working on today, guys, I'm back to the lavender color you can see here. We've had a lot of new people pop on. So let me just give a little rundown of the yarn I'm using today and kind of the pattern, okay? And we'll talk about some of these stitches as well. This pattern I'm using is called a peephole chevron. And I'm saying peep like peep, 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 little chicken, right? Little baby chick. The reason why is because you can see it's got these little holes in it that you can kind of peep through. And so it's a very lacy kind of chevron. This is my first time making it. I learned how to make this from Hooked by Robin, and I put a link on the link tree to her YouTube video. Okay, and so you can follow this pattern along. Now I am on YouTube as well. This video will be released tomorrow. And so, you'll be able to find that. My handle on YouTube, if you're not following me over there, is Wheeler 8 Acres. I do work full time. This is a hobby for me. But I do my very best to try to contribute to the crochet community. The lavender yarn that I'm using today is Big Twist Value. Now, Joann has shut down their online ordering, and this is a brand specific for Joann. I don't know what's going to happen with this yarn, to be determined, right? But I do love Big Twist. Some people don't like it. It can kind of split. I've not had the splitting issue, but I do use inline hooks. The colorway is Orchid. It's really, really a pretty yarn. So it's kind of a lilac, orchid, lavender, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm adding an accent row. So if you look right here, you can see the little variegated row that I'm doing. It also has some dark blue in it. This yarn I got from Hobby Lobby. And I love this yarn. It's the print style that they have, and this is the colorway Dreamery. But I just thought it was a really pretty yarn, and I just thought I wanted to pull out that little orchid accent. Now, you don't have to do that. If maybe you like the blue, you could pull that out. Maybe you just want to make a blanket with the yarn itself. That would be really cool as well. And then the white that I'm using is a white that I kind of have always by my chair here. This is Red Heart Super Saver in the colorway white. And so I just kind of mix these colors up. I'm making this wheelchair sized. Okay, this is going to be for donation, and it's going to go to Sabre Healthcare, which they have like independent assisted kind of living facilities, and it'll go to one of the residents there. So this is my personal project for 2025 is to make wheelchair blankets for donation. I also make kids blankets, baby blankets, and I donate those down to the NICU down in Florida. My sister-in-law is a NICU nurse, so sometimes I make baby blankets on the live. The other project I have kind of going right now are soap sacks. I'm going to be making some soap sacks again next week. I did soap sacks last Thursday on the live, but it's time to do another version of the soap sack. I counted them up, and I've actually made 50 soap sacks since last Thursday. Um, Soap sacks, if you're not familiar with what a soap sack is, here's an example. I made this one this morning. I've still got to weave in my tail, and it doesn't have a bar of soap in it. But the way you do these is you fill them with soap, a bar soap. It has to be packaged. And these, I'm going to donate some to SAC. It's an organization. It's called SACK. SAC is a 501c3, and they donate these to, collect them for homeless shelters, women's shelters. If there's been like devastation that's come through, like a storm and people are displaced, also food banks. One of the things for people that are on government subsidies, like food stamps, I don't know what they call it. Is it EBT? I'm not very familiar with it. Um, you can't use that money, the card, the government food card, you can't use it for soap. And so there is a need. People need these sacks. You can find a local food pantry in your area and talk to those folks. There is probably a need for soap sacks to go into pantry boxes. Creative Grandma is where I first learned about SACK, S-A-C-K. She is doing a drive right now for, um, she's trying to get 2,500 soap sacks and bars of soap. Here's one that I started this morning. I haven't finished it. I just am starting it, but it'll be like this. You can see it's pink. You can do any colors that you want, but it needs to be cotton yarn. And so anyhow, there's definitely a need in the US for these soap sacks. There is a video on my page from when we did it last week. Next Tuesday on the live, I'm going to make this version, which is the different version. And so we'll have two different options. There are links still on the link tree for the organization SACK, SACK. So on TikTok, if you want to know about it, up here, click on the little dog. A bar will fly up the bottom. Click on the dog again. That'll get you to my bio. Every day that I come live, I update the link tree. So if you want to know what I'm working on today, uh, maybe you're, just waking up. If you're in, California, it's early over there, girl. I got you. You can just go to the link tree later on when you have time, and all the patterns are there. Every single yarn that I'm using today, you can find a link for it and figure out where, to do this. Same thing, I learned this from Hooked by Robin. There is a link to her video on my link tree, how to start. Okay, so all of that is available to you. Let's see. I've missed a number of comments. Let me just catch up here, guys, really quick. Talk to the paws, very cute handle. I love that. I've got some paws here. A lot of people know I've got my little Rottweiler puppy and my other dog. He's sleeping this morning. He has been such a good boy today. This week has been a challenge with our little puppy Diesel, but since he is being good, maybe I will bring him up and you guys can all say hi to Diesel when we end the live today. So anyhow, Talk to the Paw says, thank you for the intro, April. I'm a new follower, just getting back into crochet. Welcome to the community. Talk to the Paws. We're glad to have you. Ladybug says, I love the color combination you use. I get inspired. Very cool. Thank you, Ladybug. Jess says, so pretty. Thank you. Thank you. I hope this brightens somebody's day. Tia says, I love this yarn is my favorite. I know it's very, very popular. Sandy, the size of the wheelchair blankets I make are 35 inches by 45 inches. That is the size that I really try to aim for. 35 by 45. I just saw another new follower pop up this morning. Becca, welcome. Glad to have you here. Cheryl says, I'm impressed. I made 8 and was happy. Cheryl, how cool you made 8 soap sacks. That is a beautiful thing. That is going to help 8 souls that need a little help out in this world. Doesn't that make you feel good? Doesn't that just work? I got a little chills there. That's how I really think about it. Kimberly says she's made 10 so far. I mean, we've got 80, almost 90 people here watching this morning. If you guys all made one soap sack, I'm not telling you have to, right? Not everybody can, not everybody wants to. But man, that would touch 90 people's lives. Can you imagine that? I made 50 already. That's going to help 50 different people out there. Maybe it's a kid that I help. Maybe it's a senior citizen, right, who needs a little help. Uh, Man, that makes me feel good. It gives me positive vibes, right? Tex, Tex Money. Can I call you Tex Money? That's what I see when I see your handle. Text Money, there is a link for this pattern on the link tree, but I will run through it really quick. This is a Peephole chevron. It's a very popular pattern in crochet. It's been made by numerous people. The way that I started this is you make it in increments of 10. So if we look back here to the very beginning, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have 2 down here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the way this works is you chain 10. Clearly that's not big enough. So then you add another 10. This is my chain right here I'm talking about. Add another 10, add another 10. You do 10 until you get it as big as you want it. Then you chain 2 and turn, and that's how you start. So it's 10 plus 2. Maggie says, where do I donate the soaps to? Great question, Maggie. I'm going to donate them to SACK. There are links on the link tree where you can mail them to. Creative Grandma also is doing a soap sack drive right now. 2,500. She's got tutorials on her page. She has all of the links. If you go to YouTube and look for Creative Grandma, you could contribute to her soap sack drive. If you can't make soap or can't make the sacks, maybe you don't want to, you can just send soap to Creative Grandma. She needs 2,500 bars of soap. Yesterday, I watched a video on her page. She was opening Happy Mail, and there was soap coming in. Send a couple bars of soap, send a pack of 10. You can help out in multiple ways, but this is a real need in our country right now. Um, SACK, SACK, I followed over on Facebook. She posts videos over on Facebook almost every day of sacks that are coming in. You can also try to donate to your local groups as well. A lot of places have food pantries, food banks, just different ways, different charitable organizations. You can reach out to your local entities as well. Creative Grandmas are going to her local area up there in Pennsylvania. So you don't have to ship anything out in that case. You can just make them, put a bar of soap in them. Again, it doesn't have to be fancy soap. It could be, dial or ivory or, I had some Dove. I got some Irish Spring. I kind of got a variety of soaps to put in them. But I'm going to make soap sacks next week on Tuesday on the live. So definitely a good way to just get some warm fuzzies in your heart if you can. And again, there's no pressure. You don't have to, right? You do you. If you want to contribute, it's a nice way. I can make 2 full sacks of these on my hour lunch. So basically, they take me about a half hour to make one. Is that fast or not? I don't know. It doesn't have to be this pattern, but there are lots of patterns available on the SAC website. There's a link for that on the link tree as well. If there's lots of different ways you can do this, you can mix them up. You can mix up the colors. I don't have any of the other ones that are mixed and matched here by me. I will show all those on Tuesday on the live, but lots of possibilities. Now, here's the thing, guys. The soap needs to be in its original packaging. Okay. So make sure, it's in its box or paper that it came from. Make sure that it's a fresh, clean bar of soap still in its packaging. Okay. Ladybug said, I make soap but stopped. I'm going to make soap again and give them to the homeless. Oh, Ladybug, that is so, so sweet. Lulu, good morning. Southern Queen says it is 6:53 here in California, right? Get your coffee. Get your coffee, mama. That is one thing went nice with the time change. I am seeing a lot of our California friends again, whereas when we went on daylight savings time, I lost contact with a lot of you. So I'm happy all of our West Coasters are here with me this morning, saying hi to all of our friends. So yeah, it is almost 9 o'clock here in Alabama. Let's see. Cheryl says she's planning on making more. You can use all the leftovers yarn to make them. Yeah, so I use scraps, right? Like here, I didn't have enough to finish a sack. I'm going to do a different color here. I had enough to do this many rows. I'm just going to tie on and do a different color. You can do all different colors, all sorts of ways. I'll talk about that again on Tuesday. Let's see. Maggie said, "Can you repeat why they are important? I missed it. Something about the soap not given." So, a lot of people in the United States rely on EBT, right? The government subsidized food program. They have a food card, and they can take it to the grocery store and they can purchase food items for their families, right? They have qualified for the program. That EBT card cannot be used for soap, and so, toiletries are very expensive. And I know in the United States they're expensive. I don't know about other countries, how they price out compared to in the US, but, shampoo and all of those things are, rather expensive items. So if somebody is on EBT, uh, they aren't necessarily able to get soap. And, hygiene is important. There's something about just going and getting a bath, right? Get all squeaky clean, gives that little adrenaline burst, that little endorphin. Something about hopping in a shower or taking a bath. It's good for your mind, right? You know, the reason you put them in the sack, they take it out of the box, they put the soap right into the sack. And I've put a little drawstring on mine so they can cinch it up and, tie a bow here and keep that soap secure in their sack. But let's say you're a homeless person, right? This acts as a washcloth because the soap is in there. You can see it's got holes. You can lather this up, and it acts not just as a soap sack, but it acts as a scrubbing washcloth. Now, somebody asked, can you use the scrubby yarn? The answer is no. It's preferred the 100% cotton yarn, which is what I'm using here. But that is why there is a need, I think, in the United States for the soap sacks. Gen X says Warm Up America will take the donations for them as well. Warm Up America is based in Texas. So if you're down in Texas or kind of on, shipping cost, right, is a concern for a lot of people. And myself included. I try to ship to charities or something that is close to my house, uh, just because it's more economical for me. But it's just my little way to give back. Whether it's a blanket, I have some squares for Maggie Unicorn makes blankets for charity as well. She donates them to shelters. She does community square blankets, and so I'm getting ready to send off some squares to Maggie for her spring drive. Her fall drive, she collected over 500 squares and was able to make 8 different community blankets to donate to charity. So there's lots of ways that you can give back and contribute. If you don't want to make a whole blanket, right? You can send some squares up to Maggie. She will take them. Um, Let's see. Reminder, when using water or heat, you should use cotton yarn, guys. Yes, absolutely. And that's what all these sacks are, is cotton. That's what they need to be. There's lots of different flavors of cotton, right? You can get, I love this cotton by Hobby Lobby. You could use peaches and cream. There's a number. Premier cotton is some fabulous. I just placed an order with Mary Maxim. I've got some more cotton yarn coming in. You can use your scraps of yarn. A lot of people use a cotton for amigurumi. Maggie said the PO box to donate is on her link tree. Guys, if you're not following Maggie, great spirit, this one here on TikTok. Feel free to give her a follow. Let's see. Bloom 99 says soap and toothpaste, etc., aren't eligible for food stamps, EBT. Um, Anyhow, Lulu, I'm glad you caught us as well. Let me reset the gift goal. Thank you for the reminder, Gen X girl. Sorry, I get off on these tangents. Thank you guys all so much for the gifts this morning. I really appreciate. I've been talking a lot and I haven't been able to give you a shout out. Thank you so much for your support of me and for all of the screen taps this morning. We have 25,000 likes over here on TikTok. Thank you all so much for tapping your screen and boosting me up in the algorithm so we can make more new friends. I love it. Over on YouTube, we have a number of people watching as well. And I see 13 thumbs up over there on YouTube. Thank you for liking the live this morning on YouTube. I really appreciate each and every one of you being here with us this morning. Cheryl says, I have a lot of cotton washcloths that I need to find a place to donate to. I think try your local food bank. I think that would be a great place to start. That way you don't have to pay for shipping, right? You could just drive them over wherever that is in your community. Uh, let's see. Then you can hang them to dry and use your hands or dishes. Yeah, these have I put a little hang tag on our soap sacks. I have a tail to weave in. Just ignore that. Pretend you guys don't see that. But here's my little hanger. So that way they can hang it up to dry. Kind of cool. Let's see. Sorry, let me Gen X, have a great day at work. Thank you guys all. Gen X, thank you for the support this week. Round of applause for Gen X, one of our moderators here. Love you, girl. I appreciate the support. You are amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Betty says, not Hobby Lobby, Hobie. Oh, yes, I buy yarn from Hobie as well. Thank you, Betty. I appreciate that. Hobie's a great place to buy yarn from. I really like them. So, anyhow, let's talk about this Peephole Chevron as we're kind of winding down the live this morning. I've been talking for an hour and a half or so this morning. But the pattern that I'm making today is the Peephole Chevron. And I'm going to kind of explain these stitches. This is my first time making this pattern. But basically, what we're doing is this goes up and down. When you hear the term chevron, chevron is refers to, I believe, a shape or a pattern. So as this goes up and down, these little points and mountains, this one is not as pronounced as some. Some are very pointy. Some are more relaxed. This is one of the more relaxed types. But you can see clearly we have a mountaintop here, and this is a valley. So this is technically a chevron. As we head down the mountain, we need a total of 4 double crochets. And I'm putting 1 into each of these stitches. So there you can see we have 4. Now here we are to the valley. This is where the peephole part comes in. And I'm saying peephole like peep, 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 little chick, right? Because you can see these little holes we're making, both in the valley and in the mountaintop, creates this little kind of lacy effect of our stitches. And so the way we do this is we're going to, in the valley here, skip 2 stitches. 1, 2, you skip over those, and I'm going to reach all the way over here, and I'm going to place my double crochet into stitch number 3. When you do this, this is called a decrease. We've taken 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. We've eliminated 2 of them, so technically this is a decrease in crochet. And this is what's forming our valley. Now we're going to head up the mountain. This is the mountaintop right here. We have 1. We need a total of 4. Here's number 2, number 3. Now I've run out of stitches. Don't be alarmed. That is what's supposed to happen. Number 4, you're going to be placing right into this chain space. So yarn over, go right down in that space, grab up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That is our 4th double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we need to make a new mountaintop, chain 2. Now I'm going to start heading down. Here's our valley. As we head down, our first stitch is going to go right back into that space. So our first double crochet goes in the space. Now we need 2, 3, and 4. 3 more stitches, 1 into each, and I'm going under both loops. Okay. This is as we head down the mountain. Now here we are to the valley again. You can see we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, skip over those, hop all the way over here to number 3, and do your double crochet. There's our new little peephole in the valley, and we're going to head up the mountain now. So we have 1, 2, here's number 3. Again, I've run out of stitches. Don't worry, you're going to put number 4 right into this space. Go under that chain and do your 4th double crochet right into that space. Cindy said, just making it to the live. Have had an early appointment this morning. Good morning. Good morning. I hope everybody has a fantastic upcoming weekend. Beautiful colors in your blanket, April. I love it. Thank you so much, Cindy. Thanks for popping by this morning. So now you can see we've got 4. There was our little mountaintop. Now we're going to head down. So our first stitch goes into this space. Here is number 2, 3, and 4. We need 4 stitches as we head down into this valley. Now we're going to skip 2, 1, 2. Gen X girl, thank you for the roses this morning. How's your puppy dog doing, Gen X girl? Give us a little update. Her puppy dog, is it Hazel? I can't remember. I think it's Hazel. Hazel had surgery, and she's been recovering, home recovering. So anyhow, give us a little update. We're all curious how your puppy dog is doing. Let's see. Christina says, what yarn are you using? I'm using a variety of yarn here. This is all a 4-weight acrylic. The lavender yarn that I'm using is Big Twist Value, and this is the colorway Orchid. This calls for an H8 hook. I'm actually using an I9 hook. And the reason why, do you see this variegated yarn we have here? Really pretty variegated. This is what it looks like on the skein. It's got blue and teal and then this really pretty orchid color. This is, I love this yarn, and it's the print. This comes from Hobby Lobby. This is the colorway Day Dreamery. Now, Hobby Lobby calls for an I9 hook. And the white that I'm using here that you see, this white is Red Heart Super Saver in the colorway white. Also 4-weight acrylic. This calls for an I9 hook as well. Whenever you're faced with that challenge, go with the bigger size. So I'm using an I9. So anyhow, that's the yarns. You can find links to everything on the link tree. Link tree. 88 Teeth 88. You were doing a chevron blanket prior with 8 stitches before the increase and decreases. Yes, this is a different blanket. This is the one I was working on yesterday. You can find links to this on the link tree. You can also find videos for this over on my YouTube channel. If you're not following me there, my handle is Wheeler8Acres. We've worked on this Tuesday and Wednesday. We worked on this blanket, but this has 8 double crochets as we head up and down. It's just a different style of chevron. Also a wheelchair blanket, but again, you can find the replays over there. Let's see. Maggie says, new hours for your lives, 7:30 to 9:30 Central Time. So basically what happened is because I work in Arizona, I don't have to be at work until 10 o'clock. Arizona does not observe daylight savings time. So even though we sprung forward, they stayed the same. So we had an hour difference before. Now there's 2 hours difference. So at 10 o'clock in Alabama, it's 8 a.m. And so I have to be at work at 8. So I crochet from 7:30 to 9:30, 2 hours, not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays, both on TikTok and over on YouTube. Dawn, good morning. Let's see. Gen X girl. Oh, but I got her name right. Hazel. Hazel is doing better. She gets her stitches out on Saturday. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. That is awesome. Chief said, okay, thank you. I got a bit confused. Uh, Chief, April gets bored with her projects. I have like 20 works in progress right now. Now, I showed a bunch of finished blankets yesterday. I still have to weave in the ends. I believe it or not, I do finish these, but I I like to kind of change it up, and I like to change it up on the live so it's not the same thing every day. But we did do 2 days of that lavender blanket yesterday, and it's a different pattern. I do different patterns just to keep it fresh. Girl gets a little bored, you know how it is. Thank you, Don. Good morning. So anyhow, Gen X girl says she can start walking therapy on Monday. Oh, that is great. That is so good. I'm so glad Hazel is on the mend. Is there anybody else out there that we need to, as we wrap up the week, be thinking about sending hugs, prayers, love, all that good stuff to our crochet family here? Does anybody else need a virtual hug? Let's see. Betty says, I'm a Gemini too and get bored. See, Betty knows what's up. Us Geminis. We get distracted. These squirrels run by. I'm totally off on a tangent. Yes, send Mama C some love. Mama C's had some doctor's appointments this week. So my friend Carol, she needs a little TLC, some virtual hugs and love. Uh, you know, I think we all need a little virtual love and hug sometimes. So I just wanted, I'm kind of winding down the live here. I'm going to hop off a little bit early this morning, guys. I've got some stuff I need to take care of before I have to go to work. Um, but this has been another fabulous week here on the live. And I just wanted to say thank you to each one of you for being here, not only for supporting me, but supporting each other and, just keeping it positive and kind. And we never know what people are going through. Um, just thank you for being a beautiful soul, both on YouTube and on TikTok, and being here this week to support each other. I appreciate each and every one of you. Um, let's see. Oh no. I'm so sorry, Crystal Honeycutt. I can't even visit her gravesite because I can't sell anything in my small business. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Hopefully things will turn around for you. Veronica says, I have a procedure next Thursday I'm getting a little nervous about. Veronica, sending you some love, girl. I'm sure, medical professionals nowadays, the technology we have is truly amazing. I'm sure you're in good, capable hands, but we will pray for those that are going to work on you. And I'm sure you'll have a speedy recovery. I hope everything goes well with your procedure. Sending you love, girl. Oh, Gen X is back. All right. Veronica says, thank you, April and the mods. Hope everyone has a great weekend. I hope you guys do too. So, I'm going to pause my crochet here. I know a lot of you have been asking to see our little baby Diesel. Let's see if we can get little Diesel to come up and say hello to those that want to see him. You think we can get him up here? Hey, buddy, come on. Come see mom. You don't want to come see mom today? You got your ear flipped back. Come on. Come here, buddy. Come on. Come on. Do we need to get out a treat? Do we need to get a treat? Look what mom's got. Look what mom's got. Oh, mom just dropped it. Come on. Come here, buddy. He was asleep. I'm having to lure him in. Come here, Diesel. He's just looking at me. Oh, we have movement. We have movement. Here we come. Hey, baby. You want to come up here and say hi to the friends? Here you go. You can have another treat. My treat that I give him, guys, these little square cubes, if you're wondering what they are. We talk about April being cheap. I get the little moist and meaty dog food. Here he is. Here he is. Hey, buddy. He's sleepy this morning. I get the little moist and meaty cereal, or not cereal. What am I saying? Cereal. The dog food packets, and I use those for his treats. I don't know if that's good or not, but I swear they're the same thing as, you do see there's some sausages there in his. Look at this lazy boy. Are you lazy, buddy? Hi. Okay, just lay there. Mom will give you some loves. This is quite the change from the last 2 days. If you guys have been here with me on the live, where he's been literally jumping on chairs and running across the room and fighting with his brother. Today he's a sweet little. Are you a sweet Diesel today? Oh, big yawn. Big yawn. Look at those big paws. So anyhow, there's your little Diesel fix, guys. I hope everybody has a fabulous weekend. I'm going to sign off. Have a great day. I'll see you all later. Bye for now.